Don't be a statistic. Stick around to the end of this video to find out the 5 most common first-time homebuyer mistakes. For your one-stop shop, anything mortgage education, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the bell to be notified when I post new videos. I post new educational videos every Tuesday and Saturday. My name is Stephanie Weeks, and I have helped thousands of homebuyers with millions of dollars in mortgage financing. And I have been recognized in the top 1% in the nation for mortgage loan officers. I'm here to help you. The 5th most common first-time homebuyer mistake that I see are people buying outside of their budget. So what does that mean? Keep in mind that you are going to set your goals. You're going to figure out what your goals are. You're going to know what they are so that you are going in informed to make the best home buying decision, right? You can see my other videos, my other checklist about that. So what I mean by this mistake of buying outside your budget, which is the 5th of the 5 biggest homebuyer mistakes that I see, is that you're not educated and you don't know what you're getting into. It's not a negative statement, it's just informational, right? So let's say that you want to buy a $300,000 home, and that sounds amazing because that's the neighborhood you want to be in or whatever the situation might be, right? So, and that's fine. Let's say that to go along with that, you want to have a monthly payment that's $1,800 a month. And let's say the other piece to your budget is that you want to come up with about $10,000 out of pocket and not anything more to buy a home. So you start going through the process and everything sounds great. Loan officer's like, yes, you're pre-approved, super awesome. Everyone's excited. You're picking out the colors of the room. Your kids are picking out which room is theirs. You know, maybe you're envisioning setting up your office in this other space, and your heart is just in this transaction, right? Well, fast forward a couple of weeks later and all the numbers are coming in, like the actual home insurance, the actual property taxes, and all these things. Well, those numbers go into the monthly payment and also the cash that you're going to need out of pocket. So now let's say, your heart is set, you're here, you're thinking you're 2 weeks from closing, the numbers start coming in and the loan officer is like, okay, and your payment's going to be $2,200 a month and we need $20,000 to close. Well, wait. Hold up, stop. Take a minute, because you're taken aback and thinking, oh my gosh, I can only come up with $10,000. Where am I going to get 20 from? And I only want an $1,800 monthly payment. I can't afford this new monthly payment. They're telling me what the heck is going on. So that is a huge mistake, because now you're invested in what I don't want to see. And what really, really makes me upset for people is that they proceed with that transaction because they feel like they've come so far. But for their personal budget and their personal needs, that is not going to fit them. And you could end up in a bad situation with a home that you are not happy with a payment that you're not happy with, maybe with a debt that stresses you out. My rule of thumb, and that I always ask people, and it sounds kind of funny, but when you go to write that monthly mortgage check, just envision, and I'm dating myself right by saying check. Anyway, when you go to pay that monthly mortgage payment, think about that number. Do you feel fine with that? Do you cringe with that? Do you feel nauseous with that? Because that's part of the key, along with crunching your budget, to make sure that you buy a home and don't make this mistake of buying a home out of your budget. Remember, your goals are so important. First-time homebuyer mistake number 4. You ready? Good. Okay. It's not understanding the difference between cash due at closing and closing cost in relation to the down payment. So, of course, I'm going to explain. When you're buying a home, you have down payment, if any, because you may have gotten a 100% loan. So you have down payment, if any. You have closing cost always. You have a lender, an appraiser, a title company, a clerk of court. So you always have closing cost, okay? Then on top of that, you have another piece, which is called your prepaids. That's your prepaid taxes, your prepaid insurances, your escrow setup, your days of interest. And so when you combine those things, down payment, closing cost, prepaids, that equals cash out of pocket. So there are some ways to get this number down, and you want to be prepared, have the knowledge, and know the workarounds to try to meet your goals, right? So let's say that they thought, whoever, Joe Blow, thought that They were buying a home with no money down, and that's true. Okay, no down payment. Wonderful. So they didn't realize that they have to come up with closing cost and prepaid items, even though they're not putting up a down payment. So there are many times where I've seen closing costs and prepaids be $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000, depending upon so many factors. And that is without a down payment. And that's the cash due at closing in that example. So a lot of people do not have tens of thousands of dollars to spend. They don't. The majority of the people that I've helped over the years, they don't have that much money. And so we try to find workarounds for that. So here are some examples. You may ask the seller to cover some of your closing costs for you. So let's use that example. No money down, closing cost and prepaids equals $7,000. You need $7,000 to close minus any seller assistance that you're getting. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say that the seller is willing to pay $5,000 of your closing, which you would know in the contract negotiations. When I ask people and they come to me with the contract and I say, are the seller paying any closing costs? Oh, I don't know. We haven't talked about that yet. They don't realize they've already talked about that because of how they wrote the offer. So let's say you need $7,000. The seller's willing to pay $5,000 toward your closing costs and prepaids. So then what you owe is $2,000 at closing. Now, you might have given a deposit when you wrote the contract. Maybe that was $1,000. So we have $7,000 minus $5,000 from the seller minus the $1,000 deposit you gave. So you would come to closing with $1,000. That hopefully explains and sheds some light for you on the difference between down payment closing prepaids versus actual cash due at closing. First time homebuyer mistake number 3. You're not sure what your mortgage payment's actually made up of. It sounds silly, but it's so true, right? The internet can be so confusing, and there are so many online calculators that make an attempt to tell you what the payment's going to be, and they're doing their best, right? But they don't have specifics. So let me dive into that for you. Your mortgage payment is principal and interest, just like if you bought a car, right? Principal and interest, repayments, okay? But when you're buying a car, you typically just have your car note, and that's it. Your insurance is paid completely separately. Well, with a house, probably, I would say in my experience, 98% of people have an escrow account. That means that your monthly payment is principal, interest, property taxes, home insurance, possibly mortgage insurance, possibly flood insurance. You might have association dues. You might have condo dues. All of those things in some way go into the monthly payment, whether you pay them together or separate. You need to know it for your budget. So here's the challenge with the online calculators. In my area, I'm in the state of Louisiana, and there are a lot of homes that require flood insurance, but not as many as you would think. So it doesn't come right to mind for first-time home buyers of, oh, am I going to have flood insurance? Sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. So here's an example. Let's say that you go online and you say, what's my mortgage payment going to be? A fancy little calculator shows up and says, what's your interest rate? Well, you're going to take a guess. You're probably going to take a guess based on what the internet says the rates are. And guess what? It's so case by case. You're very likely using the wrong interest rate. Huge mistake number 1, right? So we're already starting off on the wrong foot. Then they're going to ask you, what is your sales price? What is your loan amount? Fine and dandy. What is your loan term? Also fine and dandy, right? Then what it's going to do is it's going to say, okay, let me give you some estimates on home insurance. Well, let's say if they put in there $100 a month. Well, the calculator has no idea in your area and that particular home you're looking at, that home insurance could be $200 a month. That's a $100 sway right there. Next potential issue, property taxes. They vary so greatly. Some places have county and city and parish and one or the other or both, and all those make a difference as well. The online calculator, they don't know that. They don't know specific to your area, specific to the home that you're buying. So they might not include that there's city taxes. Well, maybe that's an extra $30 a month. Look, we're at a $130 difference already. I don't know about you, but to me, that is a lot of money of a difference in a monthly payment from what I'm expecting. The other thing is, The computer doesn't know at that point because you need the human knowledge of a great loan officer to help you to really get these numbers right. So the computer also doesn't know what program you're definitely doing, right? Just an example, conventional versus rural development versus VA versus, FHA, okay? Let's say if everything else is exactly the same loan amount across the board for those programs. Did you know that mortgage insurance can easily vary? $100, $75, $30, $120 difference between those programs? Okay, now I'm $300 off from the monthly payment the internet tells me it's going to be. Why am I telling you this? I don't want you to make this mistake. What I want you to do is, yes, do your research. Hopefully you'll subscribe to the channel where I'm sharing a lot of this information with you for free. But also make sure you get with the loan officer that you want to work with so that they can help you figure out what that payment might look like for you so that you know what goes into it and you know what to expect. There are just too many times, it breaks my heart how many times I get people that call me and say, I want to approve for $200. I want this, I want that, I want the other. And I'm like, okay, great. That sounds fine. It works. Here's your monthly payment. And they're like, what? Why is it so high? Where are you getting these numbers from? Well, it's broken down of this, that, and the other, right? And so the reason is there were things left off from the internet calculations or things that were just unintentionally incorrect. So don't be a statistic. Homebuyer mistake number 3, wrong estimated monthly payment because you don't know what goes into that. Make sure you're educating yourself. Homebuyer mistake number 2. We're down to the top 2. Thank you for staying along with me in this journey. Mistake number 2 is that they don't know all the loan types and what's available to them. You can check out my other video that talks about the 4 different types of mortgages, and that'll help you a little bit further. But a quick little overview is there's conventional, FHA, RD, VA. Sometimes there's grants that get paired with that, and sometimes there's even bond money aside from that. And so if you don't know what's available to you and you don't have the knowledge, you could unintentionally, or your loan officer could unintentionally put you in the wrong product, right? We are not talking a candy bar here. We are not talking a $1,000 loan. We are not even talking a $20,000 auto loan where a little difference is not going to go a really long way. When you are talking about a mortgage and you're talking about a long-term commitment like this, the wrong loan program could cost you tens of thousands of dollars more than you should be paying. Yes, tens of thousands of dollars. So know what's available to you. Know your loan types. Check out my other videos on that. Make sure you know your goals because that's going to be important to figuring out your loan type as well. Don't be a statistic. I've said that a few times on this video, but don't be a statistic. That is the number 2 homebuyer mistake. So let's get down to the number 1 biggest homebuyer mistake that I have seen over the years of helping thousands of people with mortgages. The number 1, yes, O-N-E, numero uno, the number 1 mistake that first-time homebuyers make. And I am so passionate about this that my eyes might tear up. I mean, I cringe when I think of this. Shopping for a home before you shop for a mortgage. Yes, that is huge, huge, huge. Imagine that you're looking at houses that are $150,000 and you love them and your kids have been through these houses and your spouse or your significant other have been through these houses with you and they are just envisioning living there. And then you go to shop for a mortgage and then you realize how much money you need or what the payment's going to be. Or maybe all that's fine, but your budget doesn't allow. Now try to go look for homes that are $100,000. You guys are going to be disappointed. It's heartbreaking. So many people don't realize, and they start by looking at houses. They start by contacting realtors. No, the first place that you need to start is you need to contact your loan officer. You need to shop for a mortgage. You need to figure out what you want to spend, what you want your payment to be, how much cash you want to part with, what kind of term that you want. You want to know what different loan types are out there. What if you thought that you could approve for a loan with no money down and you don't? And so yes, you can afford that $150,000 home if you can come up with $10,000, which you can't come up with. Disappointment is not fun. Disappointment sucks. And you can absolutely avoid that so easily by starting to shop for your mortgage before you start to shop for your home. If this video has been helpful, which I really hope it has, I'm trying really hard to spread mortgage education and mortgage peace out there. Please be sure to like, please be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell to be notified. And for more information that goes along with this topic is my free checklist, which is the Purchase Process Checklist. So Purchase Process Checklist, kind of like a mouthful. I'm going to put the link below so that you can get that for free. And hopefully that's going to help you the right step in the right direction to having mortgage peace. If you have bought a home before, type yes in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. YES if you bought a home before. If you truly feel in your heart that after watching this video, you have a better chance to have a better home buying experience or any type of mortgage experience, type peace in the comments. Your first home mortgage terms explained. If you want to check out either one of those videos, I'll post the links here. Check them out for more information. And be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Thank you so much for tuning in.